Ever since I was younger, I was into video games.
Somebody like the Fuse so I can bring bad news to all these crews who can't NBA jam with the shoe.
Hey everybody, welcome back. I guess this isn't a beer review. This is kind of a revisit. I was on my way home from work the other day. I stopped at the store to grab some stuff, and the store that I was at had a cooler that had Heady Topper cans in it, and I was like, "What is happening?" So I saw it, and I was like, "It has been a while since I've had Heady Topper," and I was just curious if I thought this beer was still great. Yes, great, because I am of the impression that this beer is great. So, from the Alchemist, Stowe, Vermont. Classic can. This can is iconic for me. For us old heads in the beer game, this was kind of our gateway to hazy IPAs, I think. I think this beer has been around since 2001. So 8% alcohol by volume. It just says ale on the can. It's a double IPA. I've had this beer a lot of times. I watched a million videos on this before I had it. I remember trying to seek this beer out, trade for it, all that stuff. It was good times back then. Such a different time in the beer world, in my opinion. But do they have canned on dates on here now? They do. This was canned on November 26th, so a month in the can. Plenty fresh. So let's check it out. I love this beer, so I'm hoping I still do. We're going to put it in our Heady Topper glass, because A, this glass is probably the coolest glass that I own, and B, you guys know beer tastes better in proper glassware. This beer, I don't know what I can tell you one thing, I can still smell it, so that's a good thing. I remember the one video I saw with John Kimmick saying he tried Heady Topper every day from the tap at the pub, and 10 weeks was his favorite as far as time goes. So we're way ahead of that. We're at 4 weeks. But this beer, holy smokes, it is sunshiny yellow, and it is hazy, but I can see the shadow of my finger through this glass. Finger of fluffy, bright light head. There's plenty of carbon in the glass. You guys probably can't see that. But this is like a cool haze. This is that glowing haze. This is that sunshiny yellow. I'm sure it looks darker on camera because of where we sit and the lights and all that stuff. But this looks like sunshine in the glass. It looks awesome. This is what I like when it comes to hazy beer. I don't drink a whole lot of hazy beer these days, but this right here is what I like when it comes to haze. So I remember Heady being, I don't know the hops in Heady Topper, but I remember it being very peachy, which I really liked. And I remember it being very dank, which I also liked. So let's see what our nose smells with this one. It smells really good still. When I say still, all these years later. That peachy thing is still there, but it's very grapefruity too to me. And it smells pithy. And it has this crazy herbal dank thing. I think I would have to go back and watch. First time I ever had this, I'm pretty sure it like probably smelled really juicy to me. This doesn't smell juicy in the way that like the hop cummy butternut squashy beers smell these days, but juicy hops I think is the best way to describe that. It's just bright. It's got a cool like sourdough bread crust thing, but still just super freaking hoppy, even at a month in the can. Hashtag Team Old IPA. And like 8%, like it doesn't smell like booze. Let's taste it. Cheers. This tastes much more West Coast than I remember. That pithiness that I was smelling, it is like you're eating grapefruit rind. It is awesome. Gosh, did it always taste like this? It's just wild how like your palate evolves and changes, especially after drinking new school hazy beers. This is definitely an old school hazy beer. This tastes nothing like new school hazy beers. This is, happy to report, it's still great. This is fucking awesome. It's pretty chewy. Tons of grapefruit, tons of dankness, and tons of bitterness. I do not remember it being bitter like that, and I love it. It is super dry on the finish too. So much grapefruit pith, like lemon zest. Hop oil, like herbally, like cooking with herbs, like chewing on herbs. Sweet on the finish, sweet like that sourdough bread crust sweetness that kind of balances out the hops. I say balances out the hops. I don't think this beer is like crazy balanced. I think it's very hop forward. It is extremely hoppy, more so than I remember, but I love it. These are the beers that I gravitate toward these days. I drink mainly clear beer when it comes to hoppy beers. I'm to the point in my life where I drink low ABV lagers. But if I'm going to drink hops, it's going to be West Coast IPA, usually around the 7%, 6.5 to 7% range. But this doesn't drink like 8%. This is so good still. I'm wondering if you old beer heads are still digging Heady Topper these days, if you liked it back in the day. And I'm also wondering if there are new school hazy IPA drinkers that are kind of new to the craft beer game, like in the last, 5-6 years, that decided to seek this out just to see what it was like and said, I don't get it. It's not good. I don't understand why everyone lost their mind over this. You just have to remember that back then there wasn't anything like this. This is, like I said, this was a beer that kind of got us into wanting to try hazy beers. All the dudes that are making hazy beers these days were drinking this beer. It's just one of those things. You got to respect its spot in the IPA world, the history of craft beer when it comes to hazy IPA. So I'm happy that this is still really good. I very much enjoy this. If this was available to me all the time, I would drink more of it for sure. It was $4.50 for a can of this. I was like, whatever. I wanted to try it again, so I paid that. I think 4 packs of Heady Topper at the brewery are like $12. It's the best value in craft beer history. Actually, you can still get 6 packs of 16-ounce Swamis here for like $13.99. That is probably the best value. But yeah, I'm happy. I still love this. It definitely isn't as peachy as I remember it being. I'd have to go back and watch. I always remember it being peachy. This is much more grapefruity. I'm sure it'll change a little bit as it warms up. I drank this cold out of the fridge. It says drink from the can. If you want people to drink from the can, you can't make fire-ass glassware like this. I'll tell you that much, Alchemist. This is still great. I love it. I'm stoked. I tried getting the 20th anniversary iteration of this that they did. It was a triple IPA, 10%, but I was not successful. So hopefully they release that again one of these days and I can try that. So I would love to get my hands on that one of these days. But yeah, Heady Topper is still absolutely fantastic for me. So I look forward to talking to you guys about this one. Wave after wave of hoppy goodness, it says on the can. Was just reading that. That is true. It is hoppy goodness for sure. So let's talk about it. You want to? That's it. See you soon. Cheers.
Thank you for coming behind the bar, in the arcade, all that shit.
Ever since I was younger, I was into video games.
Somebody like the fuse so I can bring bad news to all these crews who can't NBA jam with the shoe.